It's Messi, who is everywhere. All over the newspapers. What's the main one say in the middle, Ali?
What's that?
No te vayas, campeón.
Don't leave, champion.
Don't leave, champion. Of course, the speculation as to whether or not he will be in the World Cup next year. And if you go by stats alone, then he really should be, of course. Argentina looking good with Lionel Messi at the heart of everything. This in qualifying, 8 goals, 3 assists, more than any other player, not only for Argentina, but in the whole of CONMEBOL. So this is it, Ali, and this is the question, isn't it? Is he going to play in the World Cup?
I think he is. Now, I couldn't tell you 100%, because a lot of this is going to depend, of course, in the level of fitness for Lionel Messi. And what we have seen over the last few years is that fitness is an area of concern. But I must tell you, there's been some signs from Lionel Messi, some emotion, some reactions from Lionel Messi that kind of give you a rare look, inside look into what he feels and what he thinks. And to see him in tears ahead of this match, there's a lot that goes into it, and it's obviously him knowing full well that this is the last time that he will wear the Argentina national team jersey in a World Cup qualifier in Argentina. We know that for certain. But he also knows that things are coming to an end, and each one of these cycles that he's going through as he gets to the World Cup is closing a door on something. And every time he closes one of those doors, there seems to be this reaction coming from Lionel Messi. I think he's going to be in the World Cup. We also had Scaloni in the press conference leading up to this match getting emotional about Lionel Messi and getting emotional about this being that game that I just mentioned, how important this occasion would be. If Lionel Messi is fit and if he's healthy, he will be in the World Cup. But I think he himself has doubts that that could be the case, because he has seen what his level of fitness has become over the last year, year and a half, and how troubling and tricky it has been for him to be ready when he counts the most. And when he counts the most, it would be the 2026 World Cup.
To that point, though, am I right in thinking, obviously, he'll be with Inter Miami still next season? Mm-hmm. So he can pretty much work his schedule around... It's not... You're not playing for a top European side that are demanding the top from you every single weekend.
And I've been saying this all along, and Inter Miami fans may not want to hear this, but as much as Inter Miami are getting a lot from Lionel Messi is getting what he wants out of Inter Miami. And so when he needs the repetition, when he needs the games, when he needs the rest, he's the one that gets to decide that. And he's deciding based upon one thing and one thing only. And that has to be, I need to be at my best level for Argentina in the 2026 World Cup. And what do I need to do in order to make that happen? Now, if that happens to coincide with the interest of Inter Miami, so be it. But if it doesn't, I still think that the priority for Lionel Messi is Argentina, Inter Miami second.
Should he play in the World Cup?
He should be at the World Cup. You know, when you get to the latter stages of your career, when you're 38, 39, then things do start going. And then you do start questioning yourself. But when you have the ability that he has, why would you not have him coming off the bench?
So why is the conversation slightly different to the one that we have about Cristiano Ronaldo and the World Cup?
Because Messi has...
quite a few people have come on here and said that Roberto Martinez missed the trick, basically. He should have had the guts to drop Cristiano Ronaldo.
Well, because I have not heard one person say, well, Messi's past that. Or Messi can't do this. Or Messi's not doing that now. Not one person have I heard say that.
But you feel that Ronaldo is?
I can tell you a million. Absolutely. Listen, they're two completely different footballers. Ronaldo, as great a finisher as he is, a great a footballer as he is, relies a lot on the physical side of the game. Messi doesn't rely as much on the physical side of the game. He does his damage in little tight areas in little split seconds, picking a pass and putting the ball in the net. They're completely different players. And that's the reason. So you got one who's coming to the end of his career who doesn't rely so much on the physical side, but clearly...
But Ronaldo is still doing it. If you look at his stats for Portugal over the last 12 months, I think he's exceeded expectations in that sense.
Well, let's get the bones here. Ronaldo should not be starting for Portugal. You surely, even you, have to agree that Ronaldo should not be starting for Portugal.
I'm not paid to have an opinion. I just ask questions.
Well, funny you forget that now and again. We are not saying that about Lionel Messi. We are not saying that he shouldn't be starting for Argentina. So the fact that he is, and he's shown no signs in an Argentina jersey of wavering on the international stage, means that he should be there. I don't think there's any argument.
And the other thing that we know, that we're not making it up, we have seen it on the field, is that the structure of Argentina around Lionel Messi is so strong that it gives him the ability and the freedom to provide the moment of magic that he can still provide Argentina. And that's why it's so difficult for Scaloni to let go. Because, and not only Scaloni, but the players as well, they know that he can still provide a moment of magic. And I know it's just Venezuela, but that first goal by Lionel Messi, and in that tight space, with everybody freaking out around him, goalkeeper sliding, defenders flying by, and he still has that genius in him to do what he just did. And I can tell you from experience, because I had the very same chance playing against Argentina in Buenos Aires in a similar situation, goalkeeper coming out, defenders everywhere. And did you think in my head it ever crossed my mind, I'll just dink it? No! No! I tried to power through. And did it work? 9. No, of course it didn't. I see Lionel Messi doing this, and I'm thinking, those little moments of magic are still the reason as to why they're hanging on to him going into the World Cup. Argentina without Messi would still be one of the favorites. With Lionel Messi and the moments of magic, they become a dominant team.
But what it all means, of course, that it is basically a winner-takes-all clash. Venezuela or Bolivia as to who will qualify. Venezuela in action, of course, against Colombia. For Bolivia, they're taking on Brazil. So both teams are taking on sides that have already qualified. You've got a point ahead, Ali. Give us the old Don Hutchinson percentages.
Venezuela playing at home against Colombia, and regardless of whatever happens in World Cup qualifiers over the course of many years, this is our rivalry, Venezuela and Colombia. And even when we were the worst team in CONMEBOL, which we're not now, but when we were the worst, we could still create issues for Colombia, and we have kept Colombia from making it into the World Cup. I hope they don't remember that themselves. I hope they're not hanging on to that. Venezuela at home against Colombia, win, and you hang on to the 7th place. The other thing that you have to root for if you're Venezuela is that Brazil, who are going up to Bolivia, up into altitude, and they're not only playing in La Paz, they're playing in El Alto. So get to La Paz and keep going up. That Brazil and these new players, young players that Ancelotti has brought in, have something to prove to Carlo Ancelotti and actually show up with a standard of play that is required at Bolivia. That's for Venezuela to hang on to the 7th spot. For Bolivia, doesn't have any other hope but to beat Brazil and hope that Venezuela doesn't do enough against Colombia. I'm thinking 60-40 Venezuela. 60-40.
Where are you going to watch it,
65-35. Huh?
Where are you going to watch it?
Well, at home alone.